Hi everyone, and welcome to week 5 of English 113. Hope you all are doing well. So we've met our halfway point to this class, and the next 4 weeks are going to fly by just as quickly. So I'm here to share with you a little bit about your next writing assignment, which is going to be a summary and response. So, hi folks, how you doing? Week 5 here of English 113. It's going by really fast. So these next few weeks are going to fly by just as quickly as the first half of this class. This week we're going to work on a summary response writing, which is kind of like a critical review of a text. So going over the assignments for this week, you have 4 things that are going to be due. You have your regular grammar activity. You are going to have your pre-writing activity, and then you're going to write your rough draft and submit a screenshot of your proof that you've sent it to Smart Thinking Feedback. So those are the 4 things that are going to be due this week. Going over a summary, what do you do when you write a summary? A summary is where you're going to do a few key things. You're going to identify the author and the title of the article. You're going to cover the thesis, what is the author's main point, and then you are going to summarize the sub-points of the article to demonstrate that you understand what it is that you read and what the author was talking about. You do need to maintain a personal, no personal commentary. You're going to be very neutral when you're summarizing. You will have your time to add your input later, but when you are summarizing, you have no bias in this. You are just reviewing what it is that you read. You do want to use your own words. You do not want to quote the author. You just want to keep it concise and in your own words. And if there's any vocabulary or key terms, you want to cover those in your summary. Then you're going to do a response or a critique. And this is where you give your personal opinion. Okay. A couple of things to consider when you before you start writing your response is you want to think about the questions I've provided for you. So first of all, you want to think about what is the purpose of the text. Okay, was the purpose to inspire you? Was it to convince you to agree with the author? Was it to get you to make a move? Was it to get you to sympathize with someone? Like, what was their point? Did the author achieve this purpose? Okay. Do you think that their word choice helped them if they were trying to perceive to you emotionally? Did they use a lot of words that convinced you to feel sympathetic? Okay. Did they use any rhetorical strategies, questions, repetition? Did they repeat the same point over and over again? Did they ask you rhetorical questions that kind of got you thinking about the topic? Were there any biases? Okay, you're thinking about that. Did you just get one side of a case, or did you get a fair presentation of both sides of a cause? You also want to think about if there's other ways to interpret the text. Sometimes tone can get lost in writing, and so you want to think about what might the tone have been, and is there another way to consider what they might have meant? Did you get were you left with an impression? Did you have any questions after you read something? Did it lead you to have more questions, or to think about looking up history on that author, or looking up other things that they mentioned? Okay. And then what did you feel after you read it? What was your reaction? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Can you defend your position in how you feel after reading this text? So that is the basis of your response or your critique. And in doing so, you want to contribute your own thoughts, your own feelings, okay? Focus on, you've summarized what you read. You want to focus on now, how did it make you feel? What do you think about it? Your opinion completely, okay? Take a position. Agree with the author or completely disagree, and that's no problem. You're not wrong in any way. You just need to take a side and defend it, okay? You do want to explain why you think that the way that you do, and support some evidence to substantiate your claims. You see that I've noted for you some page numbers in our reading that can ask some thought-provoking questions when responding to a text. All right, so I'm going to show you a quick example that's in the learning activities for the week that you're given. just a little quick couple of screenshots to show you how to lay out your summary response essay. So in the very first sentence, you see the title of the article. Usually if it's an article, a journal article, it's going to be in quotations. You're not going to be reviewing a book, so it won't be underlined. Books are underlined, articles are in quotes, so you should have yours in quotation marks. And then you're indicating the author, and then you're going to use a key term that tells the reader what it is that the author was doing. Were they explaining? Were they, were they organizing information? You just need to tell what type of text this was. Okay? Did they argue a cause? So this part goes on to discuss everything that was in the article. This is the summary. You might have a couple of quotations of just key terms, but for the most part, this is all in your own words. And then you get down after your summary, and your summary is not very long, maybe a couple of paragraphs. But then you're going to start your review. And so I like how it starts off with what I like best about Elric's article is, and then that clues the reader in that now this is your opinion, and you specifically address what it is that you liked. Okay, you can still critique things. However, her conclusion, so notice that, you can point out some things that weren't perfect about the article, but the words like I think and I believe and I feel and I agree with, I disagree with, the personal pronouns are going to be relevant here. Okay. Notice that the writer of this article then draws on their own personal experience to relate. That's a good example of what you can do when you are doing a summary response. Okay, you've summarized the article, you've said what you like or dislike about it, and now make a connection to this. So, my own experience with multiculturalism certainly parallels, and you go on to explain how that's the case. And so, it doesn't have to be long. This is a paragraph. The response is a paragraph. The summary is a paragraph. A couple of pages. You get the point. Okay? So this is your example, and now we'll go through the activities for the week. You are provided with several articles to use for your pre-writing. Okay? Please notice I put a little red arrow here. Other reading. You may choose, if you don't want to use any of these topics, it's perfectly fine for you to choose a different article. I would like for you to run the topic by me, but other than that, it should be just fine, and you choose your own article that you want to read and summarize and write about. Something that inspires you, something that provokes a feeling, perhaps something that's related to your major that you can use as relevant in your other studies in your classes at CVU. Okay, so again, we review the bullets of what you're going to cover in your pre-writing, your summary, and your response. These are all the things you do need to cover in your pre-writing submission. And then you're going to turn it into a draft. And hopefully if you do your pre-writing very succinctly, this will turn into a smooth writing of your rough draft. So just like the normal 2 to 3 page rough draft, type double spaced, the first 2 pages is the summary, and the third page is your response. Okay, these numbers are fluid. You can change it. You can do page and a half summary, page and a half response. I'm flexible. Okay. Conclusion. Sometimes the conclusions are tricky. Sentence or two just sums up your review and the implications. What's the greater impact of this article? What can you do knowing this information? Something like that. Okay. And that's it for the week. So I hope you have a wonderful week, and I look forward to hearing from you if you have any questions. And I say, get writing and God bless.